Welcome to Engineering Scale Models presents Tabletop Strategies, Tips and Tips for Tabletop Board Games. I'm Jason, your host, and today we're going to be talking about what is in my zombie deck for Zombicide when I play Black Plague Quest. Or actually, when I play any Zombicide quest, whether it's an online quest, whether it's a quest from one of the mission books, to scale up the difficulty. And I'm currently doing a Places of Interest campaign with this, which is a Black Plague Kickstarter, but I'm using a lot of the Green Horde content, Horde box content, some stuff from Black Plague, a lot of stuff from Black Plague, and a special Necromancer. So I just want to share with you that stuff. So let's go to the overhead camera here, and let's take a look. First of all, if I'm playing a Black Plague quest, I don't use the Horde. I leave the Horde out, and I do a special thing with the Green Horde cards. So I have all the Green Horde spawn cards here from the Green Horde zombie deck, minus the Enter the Horde cards. So I take out the Enter the Horde cards, and I have this stack of Zombicide, Green Plague, Green Horde thing, and I call this Green Plague. And when I would spawn something, it says one walker, and then you're supposed to add one of the Horde. I just spawn 2 walkers. So this would be 3 fatties, 6 runners, and 9 walkers. So the extra activations are in there. And then to make up for the fact that there's no Enter the Horde cards, which, you know, if you're playing a Green Plague quest, throw them in there and don't put these cards in, or leave these cards in too. From the Black Plague zombie deck, I have the double spawn cards. So this puts a lot of enemies on the board very quickly. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 double spawn cards from the Black Plague deck. So I run that in there with the Green Horde zombie cards. And the reason I run the Green Horde zombie cards are because Orc Walkers do 2 damage, Orc Fatties do 3 damage, Orc Runners still do 1 damage, and it's just, they hit harder, and it can get overwhelming faster with the extra zombie for everything that spawns. Now, what's not in there is the Orc Necromancer cards. I think the Orc Necromancer is super weak, and spawning him with a runner and a fatty and an Orc Walker on the table with it is not good. So I run the Lord of Skulls. I run 6 cards of the Lord of Skulls. He is a normal Necromancer that spawns with Doom and Gloom. They are abominations. They take 3 damage to kill. They do 1 damage, but when they activate, if it's a move activation, they move 2 spaces. So turn 1, you pop a Necromancer, you're getting 2 abominations on the board. That's good for 10 experience, 11 if you kill the Necromancer. It's going to put you in yellow pretty quick if you got someone that can do 3 damage. And if you don't have someone that can do 3 damage, they're going to menace you, and it's going to be brutal. It's going to be hard to kill the Lord of Skulls. They will move more than Lord of Skulls, so you will be able to isolate him. But it's just a higher level of difficulty than using the Orc Necromancer cards. So that's the Necromancer I use. And because of this is having 2 abominations extra, I will show you the Necromancers in a minute. I also run the Tainted Horde, the Tainted Zombies, Tainted Walkers from the Friends and Foe pack. And I take out the Enter the Horde cards, and I just run the Tainted Walkers. And the same thing, when it says add 1 to the Horde, I put an extra 1 on the map. So I like those because if you kill them in melee, they do 2 damage to you. You can roll a block against it, and sometimes you can block it if not. But the Tainted Abomination, if you kill it in melee, it does 3 damage to you, and you don't get an armor save against it. So it's called Plague Spray. It's nasty. It makes you have to have a range or magic person in your group, if not one of each. And it like I said, it brings up the level of difficulty, and I enjoy that. Also, to add extra tension to it, I run the Zombie Wolves, because they move 3 spaces on them. They activate 3 times. So you have to keep your distance, but you still have to kill them. So I run with the Zombie Wolves cards from Wolfensburg. So that's a Black Plague expansion. I run those in my deck. And then I also run the Deadeye Walkers. So they can kill me at 0 to 3 range. You do damage at 0 to 3 range. And you got things you want to stay away from, and you got things that you need to get up to and kill before they shoot you. So I think the combination of those 3 additions alone, with the Plague, you can't kill at melee. The zombies are fast and you can't get away from them, and the Deadeye Archers hit you at range. I think that's a nasty combination, and I enjoy it. I've enjoyed a lot of games with it. There'll be some. There might already be up, but I have some videos using this exact spawn deck and these rules, and it's working out really well. Also, with the zombies, you get the Wolf Abomination. So it's another abomination to add to the game. So currently, without looking at the abomination cards, you have the Orc Abomination, which I have 4 of, so it can come on the board 4 times. Lord of the Skull spawns with Doom and Gloom. Only have 1 of those, so only going to get 1 set of those 2. And then you got the Wolf Abomination that can come on the board. And I have 2 of those also. So you can have 2 Wolf Abominations, so it can get pretty bad. And then to counteract that, I run with 1 set of the NPC cards. If you run with 2 sets, it dilutes the deck too much, and you can't add more bad stuff. But it's nice when you get into yellow or orange, especially orange, you can get enough to kill 5 and get an artifact of your choice. So the NPCs are nice. You can run, I have both NPC 1 and NPC 2. Mostly for the sculpts, I only run 1 set of the cards because, like I said, it dilutes the deck too much. And if you just run it with just NPCs and nothing else, you're getting relics left and right, and it's not a interesting game. So that, now let's look at the abominations. So I have 2 sets of abominations that I run. The first one is I run these in coordination with each other. I'll run the abomination from the abominations pack from Black Plague. And then I run the Horde Brother. But if I don't have a Horde, he normally comes in and he spawns with an abomination in the Horde. So we'll put an Orc Abomination in the Horde. But the way I play it is when the Horde Brother hits the table, the Orc Abomination comes with him. So again, you're looking at 2 abominations spawning in 1 square, just like the Lord of the Skulls. It's just there's a lot of XP on the board, and there's a lot of enemies. So you're going to level quick, and you're going to get massive hordes, and that is what Zombicide is to me. A horde fighting game that is just you never know. Every turn, it's like, am I going to make it? What's going to spawn? All that good stuff. And just to make things a little bit crazier, I like to run with the 6 Fatty Burster cards. I have 8 Fatty Bursters, so I can have 6 out at a time if I shuffle it, if I don't kill them. Fatty Burster's interesting. It takes 2 damage to kill it. It's got the same targeting priority as a Fatty. And if you kill it and you're not in its cell, well, it can't get in its cell, but if you kill it, it does 2 damage to everything in its cell. So you can just wipe a whole massive group of walkers by killing a Fatty Burster if you have a way to, if you have marksman or you have like the horn bow, you can pick your target and you can kill a Fatty Burster and wipe out the whole group, and that's fun. Doesn't happen a lot, but it's pretty cool. I had it happen in a game. There was like 15 things in a Fatty Burster. I had a horn bow. I was able to pick my target and just kill it. Just blow it up and kill everybody in the square. Put the person in red immediately, and I was spawning reds, and it got worse. So yeah, it gets crazy. So Fatty Bursters are fun. You can get a lot of them on the board. Every time you draw a new card, it gets an extra activation and puts 1 on the board. So if there's 4 on the board, you draw another one, you're getting a 5th one, and all the other ones get an extra activation. So that's my thing. The Abomination, it does range. It can hit you at range 1. Like I said, I like the Horde Brother for the extra Abomination. So that is the first set of Abominations that I will run. And if the game requires more, I will run For an extra difficulty, I will run the Obama Troll, the Swamp Troll, and the Were Zombie. Now, the Obama Troll can only be killed by Dragon Fire. And if it's in line of sight, it gets 3 activations. If he can see you, it gets 3 activations. So the Obama Troll is nasty. Only can be killed by Dragon Fire. So you need your Chaos Longbow, your Holy Orb of Death, or Torch and Bile, or Lava Burst. So it's pretty good. I like this, and I like the Were Zombie because when you kill it, another abomination spawns in its place where it died. So you kill it, you gotta fight an orc abomination. So you better have that extra action. You better, hope you hit, because when this dies, another one's gonna spawn in its place. And the Swamp Troll will spawn in the nearest watering hole or next to the noisiest zone. So it's kind of like the rat from Black Plague that I don't have. I wish I did. And it spawns next to the noisiest zone, so it may spawn. You may have to deal with it early before you're ready, and it's a good combination. So I don't run all 6. I could run all 6, but the deck is so big that it's hard to shuffle. My corners on my sleeves are getting bent up. So I just run either this 3 or I run the other 3 I showed you a minute ago. So, and in some quests have you have an abomination deck on the side, and I'll run these as my abomination deck, and then I'll run the other ones still in the deck. So just because it says set apart your abominations doesn't mean you have to, and you can set apart new abominations. So that is an interesting concept to keep in mind. So that is what is in my zombie deck for just if I want to play any quest, if I want to play an online quest, an expert level quest, 4 survivors, 6 survivors, however I want to do it. If I want to have a fun game that's going to be tense and a lot of work, I will run this zombie deck. I don't like to run the Black Plague stuff because it's just they seem so weak. And with this, you can get massive hordes. You clear it out so quick that you're getting extra activations constantly, and it's just it's a good combination of cards. So I'm gonna come back and I'm gonna show you what's in my universal equipment deck next, and then I'm gonna wrap this up. So I'll be back in a second. Okay, guys, let's talk about my equipment deck. This is a universal equipment deck that I run for all my Zombicide games because I'm sick of just trying to shuffle everything together. Basically, it's everything from Wolfensburg. All the stuff: Stormbow, Chaos Longbow, Flaming Greatsword, Quicksilver Sword, Axe of Carnage, Vampire Crossbow, Shield of Ages, Dragonfire Blade, and Earthquake Hammer, and Deflecting Dagger. I run all these. They're powerful, yes, but I add some extra stuff, and with the extra difficulty, they are needed, especially if you don't have 3 damage at the get-go. From the Green Horde box, the Kickstarter, I run 2 Holy Orbs of Death, because especially if I'm running the Troll or the Obama Bunny and the only way to be killed is fire, the Holy Orb of Death, spend action, discard it, create Dragonfire 0-1 in line of sight, resolve Dragonfire. That is a must. From the Friends and Foe pack, I run 2 Power Wave out of the Friends and Foe pack. It comes with 3. I only run 2. Heavy Sword, Hornbow, Mace, 2 Plague Mass, 2 Heavy Swords, 2 Maces, and 2 Heavy Daggers. There's some other stuff in there. I don't use it because it's duplicates, and you really don't come across it too often. I also, because there's so much stuff in the equipment deck that's fantastic, I added the 4 cards from Black Plague in addition to the 4 Green Horde ones, and it just spawns an Orc Walker is how I do it. So just a standard Orc Walker. So I was going to do it to where it spawned a Tainted Walker, but yeah, that came back to bite me like turn 2. So, and again, I combined a lot of the stuff. There's 4 Dragon Biles, 4 Torches, leather armors like Speed, 2 Waters, 2 Apples, 2 Salted Meats. I took out a lot of the heavy doubles, and a lot of there was a lot of crazy doubles, so I pulled a lot of that out. There's only two, plenty of arrows and plenty of bolts. There's no daggers, there's just curved daggers to go with the scimitar. There's no swords. There's just one axe. Two axes, I'm sorry. There's no hammer, so you can't hope to get another hammer and dual wield hammers. That's not a thing I like. So this is my equipment deck. It's not very extensive, and you can get through it pretty quick, but at the rate you're spawning zombies, this seems to be a good combination of, you know, the expansions plus the stuff from Green Horde, and a lot of the stuff in Black Plague is just duplicates of the Black Plague stuff. So I got rid of like this has a heavy sword and a heavy dagger, and a scimitar and a curved dagger that kind of replaces the dagger and sword combo from Black Plague. So I don't run the dagger. If I run a character that can hold a dagger in their inventory slot, I'll swap out the curved dagger and the scimitars for swords and daggers. So I will do that. I don't normally run somebody that has a dagger in there, but if I run a draft where I randomly pick 6 people, then 2 at a time, I draw 2 cards and then I randomly pick one. I pick one of those out of the 2. I'll swap out for a sword and 2 swords and 2 daggers, and pull out the 2 scimitars and 2 curved daggers. If I have someone that can use the curved dagger in their inventory slot, then I'll just run all 8 cards in there. So it hasn't come up yet. I mean, I've been playing a lot. It hasn't come up with yet. And then just to finally touch on my vault cards, I have 2 sets of Green Horde cards, 2 sets of Horde box cards, 2 sets of Wolfenburg cards, a set of Black Plague cards. So my vault deck is massive, and I'm sorry to say there's a lot of garbage in here. Spiked armor, mace gun, grappling lance, war cleaver, shield gauntlet, sword gauntlet, bang staff, orcish crossbow, dwarven axe, orcish bow, steel bow. You know, all that's garbage. But if you have to randomly pick a card, you got to pick from this whole stack, and there's not a lot of good in here. Like the Bone Sword and Bone Kukri mainly because it gives you +1 damage, and Lava Burst. Inferno's good early game because you can use it in yellow. But really, a lot of the stuff, like you got to be in orange and 4 dice hitting on 4s, and you get +1 die melee if you roll a 6. Can open a door. Shield Gauntlet, add 1 die to another equipped melee weapon. Armor roll +4, reroll other armor. Yeah, it's good. 1 die, 3+. It's like a dagger. It's like a deflecting dagger, but I don't know. If I had a choice of a vault item, I would take the deflecting dagger because it's easier to get. You know, I wouldn't want to randomly get this and I already have a deflecting dagger. Bone Sword's good. If you have the Bone Kukri, you can do 2 damage and it gains 2 dice. So you're rolling 4 dice, hitting on 3s, doing 2 damage. But the Bone Kukri is one of my favorite. Where's one at? I have one on a character currently. Add +1 damage to another equipped melee weapon. So that's good. So you can do 2 damage weapon, can do 3 damage. Lava Burst, my favorite. Roll a 6. Target zone is subject to Dragonfire effect. And when I hear subject to Dragonfire effect, I think that means it's my option if I want it to create Dragonfire or not. So, because, like, the Chaos Longbow says 3+ hits is Dragonfire. This is subject to Dragonfire. So, leave it in the comments if you think I'm playing it wrong. I think when it says subject to Dragonfire, I don't have to do Dragonfire if I don't want to do Dragonfire. So, that's my opinion on it. And, you know, a lot of that stuff seems like a lot of Dragonfire heavy stuff, but when do you get an Abomatroll in a water hole with you and you can't leave the cell and you can't kill it with Dragonfire? So, there you go. It gets complicated. Anyways, guys, you can visit me on these social media links. The links are in the description below. You can also visit me on my Patreon page and support the channel. I'm going to be doing an exclusive campaign for Patreon members only here in March or April, and it's going to be only on Patreon. It's going to be an exclusive campaign. It's going to be pretty cool, so you guys should check it out. It's going to be using this zombie deck, and it's going to be one of the Guillotine Games online quest campaigns. So thank you guys so much, and I hope you guys have a fantastic